Welcome to the English Pronunciation Workshop from the American Language and Culture Center at Southern Utah University. In this video, we will cover the basic sounds of English and will introduce Phonetic Skill 1. Before we talk about some of the basic sounds of English, it may be helpful to make the distinction between voiced and voiceless sounds. These are particularly important when we're learning about different consonant sounds. This distinction between voiced and voiceless sounds has to do with part of our speaking apparatus, and specifically with the larynx in the throat there. The larynx or the vocal cords can vibrate with certain sounds, but they may not vibrate with other types of sounds. So let's take the sound represented by the letter B, B. B. This is a sound we make with our lips as air moves out of our mouth. But if you place your hand against your throat, against your vocal cords or your larynx, B, B, you can feel some vibration of your larynx as you generate that sound. Because of that, the sound B is a voiced sound. But let's look at the sound represented by the letter P. P. Now this sound uses the same part of the mouth. We use the lips, but the difference here has to do with the larynx. Make that sound again. This time, place your hand against your larynx and make it again. You'll notice there is no vibration there. Switch it back to the B sound. B, B, P. That's the main difference between the B sound and the P sound. The B sound is voiced, the P sound is voiceless. Understanding this distinction between the voiced and voiceless sounds can help us and our students differentiate better between some of the English consonant sounds. Here is a list of some of the English consonant sounds. Now, it's not all of them. We'll learn about more of them later throughout our workshop, but let's talk about these for now. We can see that at the top of both the voiced and voiceless lists, there are 5 sounds, and each sound is paired with its counterpart on the voice list. So we have B and P. We have Z and S. We have D and T. And G and K. And V and F. Then we have one more voiceless sound that does not have a voiced counterpart, and that's the H sound. Now there are many other voiced sounds that don't have a voiceless counterpart, such as J. Now, J does have a voiceless counterpart, but we'll learn about it later. We also have the liquid sounds in English, L and R. We have the nasal sounds, and N. We also have a third nasal sound, which is It's further back in the throat, similar to where a G or a K sound is made. We don't have a good letter in English that represents the sound, even though we use the sound quite a bit. But in our English writing system, the sound is often represented by 2 letters, N and G, but it's not really an N or a G. It's a separate sound. And then we also have our 2 glides, or sometimes they're called semi-vowels, and we have the W and the Y. So if you have difficulty with any of these sounds and distinguishing them, this is a good thing to practice or get some help with. Let's talk about a few other consonant sounds for today. First, the sound represented by the letter C. Now, C actually makes 2 sounds. Okay, when C is followed by the letter A, O, or U, the sounds A, or it tends to make the K sound, K. But if it's followed by what we call maybe a soft vowel, I or E, then C tends to make the S sound, S. In English, we have the letter X, which isn't a new sound in English. It's just a combination of 2 sounds, which is K and S sounds, X, X. And we have the letter Q in English, which again doesn't represent a new sound, but Q in English is almost always accompanied by the vowel U, and together they really make the sound KW, Qu, Qu. So now that we've reviewed many of the different consonant sounds, not all of them, but most of them, Let's talk about some of the English vowel sounds. Now, English has generally 5 letters to represent vowels, but there are many different vowel sounds in English. Let's just learn about the 5 most basic vowel sounds, which we can refer to as the short vowels. And when we call them short vowels, we don't really mean that they're short. It's just a term that's used, and many English speakers will be familiar with that term, short vowel sounds. Let's review each short vowel sound and look at some example words that contain it. So the short A sound is ah. To get this sound, you have to drop your jaw quite low, but it's a sound that's near the front of the mouth. It's not further back. So ah, ah. If you had a little ball on your tongue in your mouth and you tried to make the sound ah, that ball would probably fall out because your jaw is dropped and your tongue is forward. Ah. So words like fan and mat both use the ah sound. Now the short E sound is higher up, okay, in the mouth, but it's still near the front of the mouth, and we get eh, eh. When words like bet and 10, they use that eh sound. Next, we have the short O sound, which is ah. Now, like the short A sound, the jaw needs to really drop, ah. But instead of being near the front of the mouth, it's further back, ah. You could still have that little ball sitting on your tongue and make the ah sound because the tongue isn't pushed forward, it's further in the mouth. So we have short O words like rod and mop. Then we have the short U sounds, This sound is actually in the middle of the mouth. It's the most relaxed and easiest of all the English sounds to make, I joke with my students often and say that is the sound of someone punching you in the stomach, and you go, So some short U sounds are sun and cut, Last, let's talk about the short I sound, eh. This can be a difficult sound for speakers of some languages because the I sound may not exist in their language. One of the challenges of the I sound is that it can sound very similar to the S sound or even the E sound. But I is near the top of the mouth and near the front, okay? And it's kind of a tense sound, I. Some tightness to that, okay? And it sounds like in the word pit and dim, I. So now that we've reviewed the 5 short vowel sounds, we need to understand a concept called guardian consonants in English. A guardian consonant is a consonant that follows a vowel in the spelling system of English. So if there is a vowel in a word, and then after that vowel we have a consonant, we could consider that consonant to be a guardian. It protects that vowel sound. And this idea of protecting a vowel sound will become important, especially as we learn about different types of vowels in English and longer words in English. So let's look at these 2 words, sad and sand. The word sad has 1 guardian consonant after it, the letter D. The word sand has 2 guardian consonants. It has the N and it has the D. So sand has 2 guardian consonants, but sad has just 1 guardian consonant. We need to understand this idea of guardian consonants in order to understand phonetic skill number 1. Phonetic skill number 1 is a way to help us and our students understand what kind of vowel sounds words will make. And so here's the rule for phonetic skill number 1. When a vowel is followed by 1 guardian consonant, the vowel will be short. Now, we haven't talked about what happens when a vowel is long. We'll talk about those later. But for now, know that if there is 1 guardian consonant after a vowel, the vowel is going to be short. So in the word F-U-N, there's 1 guardian consonant, the N, and so that U is going to be a short U sound, fun. And we see the same thing with these other words, mad, bit, top, and wet. They each have 1 guardian consonant. So they would all use a short vowel sound in English. One of the ways to help us and our students remember how to apply these phonetic skills is to draw some diagrams where we mark different aspects of the word. And when we mark words, we start from the left and go to the right underneath the word. Then we go at the end of the word, we go up and over and back again. And this looping process can help us identify the important parts of the word that can affect its pronunciation. And we're going to go through some examples together in this video so that you can see the process of how you could do this and how your students could do this. The first thing that we want to mark as we move from the left to the right of the word is mark all the vowels. Now this word has one vowel, so that's the only vowel we will mark, but we started at the left with the F, that's not a vowel, U is a vowel, and we go to N, N is not a vowel, so the only one we mark is the U. And we can put an X under it, and that's a reminder to us that X means this is a vowel. Now next we go above the word, we go back up, and we start at the end of the word, and we're going to go back to the front. And we mark any guardian consonants. And this word just has one guardian consonant. We can put a little star or asterisk above it. And now we know that this word has one vowel and one guardian consonant. So if we follow our instructions here, when a vowel is followed by one guardian consonant, then the vowel will be short. This tells us that the vowel in this word will be a short U, which we know is a. So we can mark that vowel with this little brief sound symbol. And this symbol, many English speakers are familiar with this. We never use these symbols when we are writing sentences, but we often use them when we're teaching people to read and pronounce in English. And so this symbol means a short U sound. And so anyone that is looking at this word would know that this word would be pronounced fun, and not a different vowel sound like foon. Let's try again with this word, and if you like, you can pause the video, go through the process yourself. Start with the bottom at the left, mark the vowels, then go up and around the word, and from the last letter towards, mark the guardian consonants. So we'll mark the vowel, come up and over, we mark the guardian consonant, and then according to phonetic skill number 1, this will be a short vowel sound, ah, mop. So let's review what we learned in this video. We talked about consonant sounds in English, and we categorized them as both voiced and voiceless consonants, and the distinction there being whether the larynx vibrates when the consonant sound is produced. We also introduced vowels and talked about the first 5 vowels in English. We call these short vowels, and they're a, ah, and I. And then we learned phonetic skill number 1, which relates to short vowel sounds. It says when there is one guardian consonant after a vowel, the vowel will be short. We will add more phonetic skills as we go throughout our videos. We'll add more consonants and more vowels, but together these ideas will help us learn more about English pronunciation, English reading, which will also help with English writing and English speaking. And we look forward to helping you develop your ability to understand and explain these concepts of English pronunciation.